Well, I'm Maarten Glaser. I'm living now here in Spain since about 7.5 years. This is my second time I'm living in Spain. I did it as well between my 19th and 22nd. And I'm here with my wife, three daughters, 13, 15, and 17. We've got a couple dogs. We're living in the countryside in Alhaurin, Grande. And yeah, I'm really enjoying it. For me, the Costa del Sol, it became my home. For me, yeah, this is my place. This is where I really like to be. I think the Costa del Sol's got a lot of things to offer. Point one, the obvious weather-wise. Yeah, hey, 300 days of sunshine a year. Who's going to say no to it? But it's more of that. It's what I really liked about it is the culture that is here, the way that you live. You live outside, go for a coffee in the morning, the way people raise their children here, and the multicultural part of it. We're expats, we're foreigners to the Spanish, but we're still welcomed into the community. We've got a very big network of very international friends. And I think that brings a lot as well to the education of my children, but as well to myself, to how I look to life, to what I enjoy in a daily life. Yeah, for me, it hit home base. I made the choice for a distance. So when we were looking roughly 10 years ago, we had the first idea to move to the Costa del Sol, or at least to Spain. And I lived in Mallorca, I've lived in Gran Canaria, I've lived in Fuerteventura. In Italy, I lived on Elba, and it was always on islands. And the one thing that really stuck by me, like, hey, an island is fine, it's nice, but it's small and it's limited, especially with young children growing up, schools, travel, etc. I didn't want to be in an island. And we went to look, point one, weather-wise, we went to look by where is life going on non-stop, 365 days a year, but also what has a very good connection. And what I like here is, well, from Amsterdam, we're here within 3 hours. By train to Madrid, it's 3 hours. We can go to Cadiz if we want to do some surfing. If we want to go to Seville for some cultural stuff, it's 2 hours. So Granada, an hour and 45 minutes. Everything is very approachable, and there is a lot of things very close by that, yeah, really appealed to me. When we just moved in here 7.5 years ago, I worked in a restaurant. There's a way of getting here and well, as well, getting settled. And I came home from work one day, and my wife was a little bit surprised because the neighbor came with a whole basket of fruit as a gift. He had his own well, plantations and everything, and it was a gift. Well, she expected him like, "Hey, no, I'm trying to sell you." And she said, "I don't have money. I don't want it." And he said, "No, it's a gift. I want to welcome you. Very nice to be here." And his youngest son was the same age roughly as my youngest daughter, and they hit off and they started playing on the streets and in the olive groves and everything. And yeah, it's not something what we're used to from back home. Completely different. I never had neighbors that I thought, wow, let's go and have a barbecue together. Or it's more open, it's more friendly, and that's what I really appreciate. So yeah, I'm helping homeowners buy in the Costa del Sol now since 2018. So yeah, quite a long time. And the good thing is, I've learned a lot and get to know the nitty gritty things of the business, and that is really nice. As said, I started my work here in a restaurant, and that was a means to get to know the area and to get settled in. And in the meantime, I went to look out for jobs in real estate because that was where I wanted to go. I started for a Marbella-based company. After being here for about a year, I had a better understanding already of the areas, etc. And they learned me a lot. They learned me about how to everything, the legal side, the mortgage side, the basic knowledge that every, in my opinion, real estate agent should have. And I, in the end, worked just over a year for that company when I opened the franchise office. And then COVID hit. That wasn't the best period of time. It was challenging to say at least. And what I found out that during that time, we drifted apart, me, the franchise owner. We had complete different ideas of where to go with the company. And I think as well of the values that we wanted this company to have. And after that, I decided to open my own company. And that was, I think, 4 years ago now. At that point, I was very much based on Dutch and Belgian clients flying in from the Netherlands and buying off-plan and resales property. But of course, during COVID, that got very limited. So that gave me time as well to reflect on how do I want to keep working, and what if this happens again, to find my sweet spot. And well, I started working much more with listings, being here, having the control over everything that happens in the process, being on one-on-one with the client. And that really worked well for me. It made it all not per se easier, but the contact you have with the client was much more rewarding, because the client who is willing to sell, I'm one-on-one with him, and he is not speaking with 10 or 15 or 20 agents. I'm not just a number. I'm the one guy he relies on. And yeah, that was very interesting, that switch, and that very rewarding work. Well, the favorite part of helping clients sell their homes is, I think, help them with the unexpected. What I come in contact with a lot of clients, they have been working with other agencies. The houses aren't selling, and they're a little bit frustrated. And I think if you bring in a new set of eyes, which a lot of times we are, and you can refocus the client and help them improve the house, get professional pictures taken. You see them coming, lose the frustration, and yeah, eventually, if we sell the house, and often it happens faster than expected because the client had a whole frustrated time. Yeah, they're so relieved, and they're so happy that they can move on with their life or with the next chapter of it, and that is, yeah, it's very nice. I think our main focus of selling, but also the buying side with us, is going to be properties between 500,000 and about, say, 3, 4, 5 million. That is the focus. I think the majority of the properties we sell have an average price of around €1 million. We go down to it. We recently helped a client buy a €300,000 apartment, and we recently sold a €3.6 million villa. So we do everything in between, but I think the majority of it focuses around, say, 800,000 to 1.3, 1.4 million. I think the area we focus on the most is actually the triangle between Malaga, Marbella, and especially the inlands area. What we see, especially in the inland area, is a lot of times properties are not presented in the correct way. Wrong pictures, bad quality of pictures. The properties aren't prepped for getting photographed, for videos. It's very rare that we see professional videos coming by of the most amazing properties. And that is one of the things that we're really looking to make a difference in, getting the marketing side of selling a property to a much higher standard than a lot of people may have been used to in recent years. What you can see is people still have the idea that if we go to a property, and we'll just come in on a random Monday, we'll take a couple pictures, we'll stick it on. A lot of times they take one picture like this, one picture like this. You see the difference in not only quality, but sizes, dimensions, everything. Hey, I've even seen dirty diapers in the bathroom, and I think just by focusing on that, the one thing that I always tell my clients, by the time that you start selling your house, it's no longer your home. It's your business. And a business is there to make money. So what is the easiest way to earn €20,000 extra this year? Clean up. Get it done. Get your house presented in such a way that you would want the house to look if you go and look for it yourself. The fact that you live there yourself doesn't mean that you don't need to clean up after yourself. If I'm coming on a viewing, I don't need to see the dirty plates in the sink. Um, and giving the people that understanding that, yeah, it's still my home, but actually at this point, it's not about me in this home anymore. It's about making money and getting the house sold. That makes a lot of change for a lot of people. It's often it's a mindset that people need to change, because people by general, some are quite relaxed and a little bit lazy. But to get maximum effort and maximum sales potential out of a house, you can't be lazy and you can't be relaxed. You need to be on top of it. Your gardener needs to mow the lawn every week to keep it up. It doesn't look good if the weeds come this high. Um, Things like that are very easy to change, but can make a huge difference in the sales price and the sales cycle that your property is going through. I don't think I'm special, but what I think can set me apart is the willingness to walk away. While with a lot of people, and I think with a lot of real estate companies in general, it's about hoarding, hoarding, hoarding. You know what? Let's get 100 listings on board. And if 20 of them sell, we still do okay. That's not the way I see it. That's not the way I like to work. Point one, you're not giving your best advice and your best service to 80 clients. If it's not a good fit, if it's completely, well, not realistic what a client wants, it's not up to me to sell the property. I'd rather walk away. So yeah, clients who I work with, they actually, and it sounds maybe a little bit dull, but they need to listen to the advice that we're giving. Clean up, declutter, get the gardener in, repaint the house, stuff like that, to get the house in the best state possible. And I think the willingness to walk away from a sale, but also the time and the effort that we put in to get your property in top shape, the fact that we only work with professional photos and videographers, the fact that we do make the marketing on the international platforms, the fact that we do work with all the agents on the Costa del Sol, the fact that we do go to the clients and, be more than just a guy who opens the door and puts a property on the market. I think that is what sets us apart. The mission and the vision of Glaser Group is to achieve the best possible result. And this sounds probably very corny and probably every agent will say it, but the realization is that I have, at least, that a lot of people say it, but they don't make it happen. For me, the client is number one, number two, and number three. And only after that comes commission and stuff like that. Let's focus on getting the best result for the client, no matter what that means for the company. We sell, we'll make money, perfect, but it isn't the end goal. And yeah, sometimes people forget that. So one of the things we do, for example, if a property requires work, we get one of our teams in. If it is painting, tiling, whatever, we make sure to get the property in top selling order. Of course, we don't pay the bill, but even if you put in 5,000 euros now to make your house look much better, you get 20, 30, 40,000 euros in return when selling it. We only use the best companies that we work with for staging, for you name it, photos, videos, drones. Recently, we worked with a digital company to digitally enhance an empty property. The client, they don't want to put furniture in it. And we had a company do it digitally. So now if you look at the property portfolio of this house, you see a completely furnished house. But in real life, it's not. But by doing this, by spending this time and effort, we can present the house so much better online, where it's being looked at with the picture that goes to the potential buyers, that it makes a huge difference. I think people should choose for the Glaser Group if they're looking for an honest person with integrity, a person who goes the extra mile for their client. Our goal is not just to sell. Our goal is to help the client. And if that is with moving on to a next property, if that is with bringing in companies to do reforms, if it is with getting stuff stored or cleaned or whatever, we are the one contact for the client to have everything to do with selling their property. So we actually take a lot of workload off them if they want to. I think one of the things that excites me about the future within real estate is the constant changes that are coming. I think it's going to be, even though if we look to the Costa del Sol, we have got quite a lot of different nationalities. I think the number of expats will keep growing. And with that, the communities will keep growing and expanding and changing. And that is one of the things that is going to be really nice, the constant change. And I hope within that, the constant change upwards, that we can make a positive change in it. Also within the real estate, we can help people, we can educate them, we can help them with the kids in the right schools and directions. And I think the more professional the real estate field becomes, the more professional the whole of Andalusia and the Costa del Sol will become, because we get a higher influx of good standard expats. What we actually do is we make a first appointment with the potential client. We go there to have a one-on-one chat, one-on-two chat, whatever, and explain them a little bit about who we are, what we work, but also very important, listen to what they want, what they have experienced, and what they're hoping to get out of us. After that, we make a second appointment, and in the meantime, we have prepared a presentation to the client about what the market is doing specific to their project, to their house. So say you're looking to sell a finca in Alhaurin Grande. What kind of similar fincas are there? What is their price per square meter? How many square meters are there? How many bedrooms are there? Etc. Etc. How long is it on the market for? All that we put in that presentation to give the client actually really valuable information about what are you up against. From there on, we give information about, hey, you think your house is amazing, but let's look at these little points that we think we can improve that can actually be quite valuable, because a broken window is just a broken window. But in €1 million house, a broken window means a client has in mind, there is work to be done, or I still have added costs. So repair the broken window. We come so with a plan of advice of what to do. And from there on, we give the client a price base that we feel comfortable selling the house for. We give them a plan on how we do it, which international property portals we use, etc., etc. And we leave it with them. And then after a couple of days, we get back to the client and see how they have processed all the information, how they think on it. And if we can agree on the price that we think it is worth, we'll start preparing the property. Only at the end, when everything is ready, we ask clients to sign a contract with us, and let's bring the property to market. The values that guide our work is that we have a phrase at Glaser Group, and we are driven by integrity and we're committed to trust. And again, maybe more people say it, but for us, those are the fundamentals that we really believe in. I've once learned a lesson by a Dutch guy called Peter, and he said, in the end of the day, you're brushing your teeth and you're looking in the mirror, and you need to be happy with yourself and have a clean conscience before you go to bed. And I've taken that to heart, and I think that is how I live my life personally. That's how we run the business. I'd rather make a little bit less money and do it well than make more money and just, do it half. Uh, That is for us is the most important thing. Believe in what you say and do what you believe. Every challenge that comes up during the selling process is actually just part of it. There is never a straightforward sale. No sale is the same. Challenges are there to sit and overcome. And I think what is the most important thing is to be adults, to sit down, talk about the pros and the cons, what the solutions are, what we can make happen and what we can't, and present the plan to the buyer and the seller and see if there is common ground and a way to move forward. And if there isn't, back out of it. And as long as it's nothing big and structural, then everything can be overcome. Of course, it's going to be very difficult if somebody has done a technical inspection on a house and the roof is collapsing. It's a little bit more difficult. But hey, everything is there. Everything can be overcome as long as we're logical and normal and talk as adults. Everything can move forward. Decluttering is one of the most important steps to preparing your home, because what we see, people have been living in houses for 10, sometimes 20 or 30 years, and people hoard a lot of stuff that they don't need. And I think by really vigorously looking, what am I still using? What am I not? What are we going to be bringing to the new home? And bring everything down. Listen, nobody is waiting for the pot in the kitchen that you haven't used in 5 years. Nobody is waiting for the stack of spare clothes that you've put away in the attic from when you were 20 kilos heavier. Nobody wants to see it. Nobody is interested. So let's get rid of all this stuff. Let's make the house as basic as possible, because what people are looking for is a blank canvas that they can imagine themselves living in. So your family pictures on the wall can be very nice to you. For somebody who's coming to look at your house, it's your house and they're intruding in it. While if it's a very blank canvas, it's any person's house and they can start imagining it. So let's declutter. Let's start bringing stuff away. And if it's necessary, and you don't want to throw it away, rent a storage space. They're far in between here. There is enough of them. They're not too expensive. Bring them in, stack it up, and have everything already ready for moving out, because that is the one thing you're going to be doing anyway. So if you're going to be moving, better start now packing stuff and bringing it away, throwing it away, putting it in storage, giving it to charity. You've already done half of the work, but your house is going to look so much better. What I like most about my work with the homeowners is actually the trust and the friendship that you create. It happens a lot with me, that even after people have sold, I'm still in contact with them in the near future. Sometimes they come back on holiday, they want to meet up, and that is, yeah, the personal touch to it. I'm a very big person, man. I like to be among people. And I think that is, yeah, one of the things that I really enjoy, just the nature of the work, being around with the people and helping them in a moment that they need it. And yeah, that gives for me a very comfortable feeling. I'm going to share a very nice story with you about a client we recently helped selling his house. For that, we have to go back 4 years in time. It's a house in Alhaurin, Grande, and it is for sale at that point with 3 or 4 agencies. I was still working at the franchise, and one of the colleagues from another company, from another office, had this property in sale. She left the company, she introduced me as a local agent to the clients, and I went to a couple of visits with this house, met the people, and a very nice couple. And at that point, they had the property already on the market quite a long time, and they decided, it's COVID. It's not the right period to sell the house. So let's take it off the market and let's do a little reform. So that's what they did. They took it off market. They kept on living there. They put in a new kitchen. They put in some new windows, etc. And then about 4 months ago, out of the blue, they called me. Hey, Maarten, how are you? You're still in real estate. We've seen perfect. Can we meet up? Because we're thinking of selling our house. So we went there and asked him a little bit of question about, for example, why me? Because I wasn't one of the companies that you initially employed. That was one of my colleagues. But apparently they had the best connection and feeling with me in that time. And that's why they called me back. They didn't want to work with any other agents. They had been contacted by a couple other. And they all told him, no, if you have questions about this property, call the Glaser Group, ask for Maarten, he can tell you everything. And we have spent probably 2 or 3 months preparing everything in the home. So they had a hole in the roof of the bathroom because they had just put in insulation. We've covered it, we've repainted it, we retiled the floor in the living room and all of the hallway. We've repainted a lot of things there. We've cleaned it. They had some broken tiles around the back terrace. And we got everything ready. Went there, made amazing pictures, drones. And then on Friday evening, I have put all the properties, information of the property on Idealista, on resales, and it went live. And within the first 72 hours, we got, I think, 10 messages from people who wanted to see the property. We booked viewings, 2 for Tuesday and 2 for Wednesday. The first client who saw it made an offer at full asking price the same day. The second client who came made an offer full asking price on the same day. So we had been working with this property a couple months to get it completely ready, but the client has been working and had this sale in his mind already for 4 years, or maybe even longer, and we sold it like this at full asking price, cash deal, no problems, and they were so happy that it was finally done and at a good price, much faster than expected. And yeah, for us to point one, be asked by the client because they remembered the good feeling they had with me 4 years ago, and then say we're gonna do it good, have them get the house ready and spend some money on it, and then actually sell it within such a good time frame. Yeah, for me it's a very big success story. Building trust and confidence with sellers is very important, and one of the things I do is just being me. I am what you get. If I like it, I tell you. If I don't like it, I will tell you as well. If I go out with you in a day to view properties and I think it's not a good property, I will tell you. I have, for example, a couple months ago, we advised the client who had already signed the contracts and the purchase contract and everything to cancel the deal. It was a new build project. In the end, we got him his money back because the parking garage of the complex wasn't usable. To get out of the parking garage, you needed to drive backwards onto the slope on the ramp to get out of the complex. And later I spoke with the developer. All the other agents went on with their sales. Nobody informed the client. And we were the only one to advise the client to cancel his sale. And we even got him back his money because of the conflicts with the contract, because they sold him a parking garage that was not usable. And I think, yeah, cases like this are very important. We don't shout them out of the windows because it's between me and the client. It's personal, it's private, but it's very important. And more people will know because he will tell it, and it goes around like that. And by putting the client first and being myself and be honest and have everybody in the company thinking that way, trust comes itself. The good thing about a relationship between a homeowner and an agent should be trust, authenticity, and be yourself. An agent shouldn't be different than he is because he's with a client, and the client shouldn't have to be different than he is himself. It's about mutual trust because in the end, you're all working to the same goal. You should work as a team. It's not 1 plus 1, because if a homeowner and an agent work together as a team, they can achieve far more than when they just work as two individuals to the same goal.